Terrorists target civilians like Hamas. Israel do not. Hamas and Palestine equals targeting civilians. Israel equals warning civilian population of opposing. Hamas did warn Israel before bombing Israel. So I guess you're wrong on that end too. Like the first round of rocket fire coming from Hamas came before they said, pull your troops out of Al-Aqsa and allow the Muslim mosque goers freedom of travel. So technically, you're wrong. I mean, you're literally wrong. Then Hamas is the same as IDF with respect to that. But this is not about equality. You don't care. You don't want to have a fucking conversation on equal terms. So why do you even come in here and act like you do? It's so strange to me. Like either you just don't have the full information, or you just don't care. You probably don't care. But even if your argument is like what is the narrative here? Is it okay because Israel warns ahead of time that they're going to bomb your house? Would you be fine with that if they bombed your house?
Donate $1,000.
Like if someone, if a superior military power that has rendered your freedom of travel, that is completely shut off your opportunities to travel anywhere else, that has locked you into this like open air prison, says, I'm going to bomb your house, but I'm letting you know, would you be like, thank you, please, sir, I want some more? Are you that much of a fucking cuck? I don't understand. And if pre-warnings are good enough, then why didn't Israel listen to the demands that Hamas made ahead of time? Why didn't they? Oh yeah, I want to do the UFO fucking piece in a second. I've been holding off on this. That's big from you opening up your opinion about the Palestine-Israel conflict. Not many people dare to talk about it in front of an audience this big. No, motherfucker, I've been talking about it for years too.
Middle East, Israel and Hamas exchanged new attacks this morning. The White House is pushing for an end to more than a week of...
So, like, was it okay when Israel bombed not one but two refugee camps? Israel bombed another refugee camp last night. Is Hamas there? Like, how are you gonna fucking act like that's a reasonable thing to do? Like, they're bombing refugee camps, dude. They're bombing hospitals. They murdered fucking little kids who had PTSD and were getting treatment for their fucking PTSD from previous bombing campaigns. It's nuts.
Looking good today,
defending Israel in any capacity, especially through this latest round, when like most liberal, progressive except for Palestine Zionists are even shutting the fuck up, or at the very least trying to make weak attempts to all lives matter the situation by being like, well, anti-Semitism is on the rise, which is true, but that is completely separate from what the fuck's going on here. It's just like, it's wild. Like, you literally don't have to do that. I promise. You don't have to do it.
Deadly fighting. President Biden told Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday he expects a significant de-escalation. Imtiaz Tayeb is in southern Israel, just north of Gaza. Imtiaz, good morning.
Vlad, everyone, good morning. Yeah, I'm only just a few miles away from the Gaza Strip. You can see the road here is blocked. Israeli security forces not letting us in because of Hamas rocket fire. All of this comes, of course, as the Israeli media breathlessly speculates that a ceasefire could start as early as tomorrow. But for now, the bombings continue.
I'll tell you what, as an Israeli, if you defend Palestinians, you're considered a traitor. Yeah, it's like fucking defending the lives of Iraqi and Afghan citizens really helps my mental health when America was like, nah, we're just going to fucking murder all of them. I understand. I know. I mean, I've been seen as like, when I used to come to America, especially closer to 9/11, like I know what it's like when you're just like automatically as a Muslim seen as a fucking enemy combatant. Like you're like infiltrating America from within. And there's plenty of Muslims in here that have also experienced that when they were fucking growing up. It doesn't happen in a fucking vacuum.
Israeli airstrikes have been lighting up Gaza's skyline for 11 days now, causing an inferno of destruction on the ground. The misery is unrelenting. Well, in the southern Israeli town of Beersheba, dozens of Israelis and our team had to run to this bomb shelter after several Hamas rockets were intercepted right above us. If a ceasefire is near, it doesn't feel like it. Since fighting began, more than 75,000 Palestinians have been displaced across Gaza, most seeking refuge at these UN schools. And it's kids who suffer the most. We talked to two 10-year-olds about what they're experiencing, one Israeli and one Palestinian. Nadine Abdeltaif has become the face of Gaza's children.
I'm only 10.
After going viral in this video posted online. CBS News met Nadine near her neighborhood, which is now in ruins.
I want to feel safe for like one day at least. I never feel safe in my own home.
What's it like in your house?
It's very scary.
Renana Botzer-Swiza lives in southern Israel, just a few miles away from Gaza. She gets scared every time Hamas rockets are fired near her home. She says she knows what she experiences is nothing compared to what Nadine does. And when we asked her what she'd say to her if they were to ever meet,
I wasn't saying nothing. I just hug her and tell her that I know what you feel.
Now, according to the United Nations children's charity UNICEF, 1 million Palestinian children, 1 million, face, quote, disaster if a ceasefire isn't called soon. Gail.
We're all hoping for that. Thank you very much, MTS Tayeb, reporting from southern Israel.